Hello and welcome to the First Issue Club podcast. We're your weekly reading club for first issue comic books. The show where, just like Sue Storm, we love a good read. There's nothing better when good words are on pages. You hear gulps on the mics.
I subdued my gulp. If you heard my gulp, you're really listening to it too loud.
And the boys are drinking some champagne because, of course, we've got some news.
Oh, yes.
Vargas is back. Cheers, Vargas.
Cheers, Vargas. And he's officially off the market.
Sorry, you all had your chance.
For eagle-eared listeners, Vargas has been gone for 2 episodes because he's been prepping for his wedding.
Yep, mission accomplished.
And it was a beautiful service. Had a great time. Mike D got to draw a MODOK box.
Yeah, that was fun. We had a little box draw. It wasn't a contest.
But if it was.
Block drawing activity.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Like an icebreaker at a wedding.
Well, it was for my future son.
Which he will chew on and
That's
throw
okay.
away. Had a boy running.
That's okay. The markers are poison. He'll learn.
But no, congratulations on your beautiful wedding.
Well done. It was a fantastic affair.
Yeah.
I hope everyone had fun. That was the objective.
Fun was had.
You took a real gamble and did it outside.
Yeah.
Like a complete lunatic.
No, it worked.
You had no idea what Mother Nature had in store.
Yeah. That's why we got the tent.
Yeah. Listen, I've been to a wedding in a tent when it's raining. It sucked.
Sure.
But no, it was perfect weather. I think it was the common Midwestern thing that was said was, man, beautiful weather today. So your wedding was blessed so many times over.
Hashtag blessed.
True. Good weather, bad sewers. But
Yeah. Well, I had a little sewer issue in the backup of your basement.
That's
where your comics are at.
yeah, we'll talk about it on the Patreon.
So head over there if you want to hear our poop tales.
Ugh.
Poop tails. Woo!
That's Andy. I'm Mike.
And I'm Greg.
And together 3, we are the First Issue Club, the podcast that's brought to you by Space Camper, Cosmic IPA.
Yum, yum, gimme some down in my tum-tum.
A beautiful brew with all the hops that you want, exploding your taste buds.
Can I get a little bit in there?
You want some on top of your rosé?
You know what Space Camper pairs well with? Rosé. You heard that here on First Issue Club.
Okay.
We're going to call this Flash Shoes.
Yeah, because it's red and gold.
Yeah. Or Galactus Booger. Galactus Booger.
Cheers. We're waiting for the verdict. I'm sure it's good.
It's phenomenal.
I'm sure it is.
That's wonderful.
All right. So, Space Camper Cosmic IPA, not just a drink, it's a mixer too.
Every episode, we're now going to invent a drink. What does Space Camper taste like when you add water? Or another Space Camper?
Actually, I bet it would make a pretty killer black and tan if you found the right darker beer.
Like, what's a dark Boulevard beer it could go with?
I don't know.
Probably one of their malty beers that they have.
Didn't they have a stout called Dark Truth?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. What about pair it with like the chocolate ale?
They used to do a black IPA too. 2 IPAs.
2 IPAs make a right.
All right. This is the podcast wherein we discussed first issue comic books.
True.
But before it, we talk about some comic book news. All of this in an effort to onboard you into this complex, complicated hobby. Can it be made accessible? Maybe.
We're trying.
Through First Issue Club.
It shouldn't be that complicated.
Tell me more.
Think about it. Picture books about superheroes saving the world. How difficult is that?
It doesn't sound like it should be that hard to follow.
It should be a layup.
Honestly,
However,
how many superheroes can there possibly be?
2 tops.
Yeah. You got Superman.
One who gets his powers from the sun, and one who comes out at night.
You got Batman. That's it.
I was reading Fantastic Four #7 earlier today. Mm-hmm. And in the back, they were like, here's all your questions about the Human Torch and his clothes. and
Yes. I love that they had to
like
do that.
how all this works and yada yada. And I was like, this is where it started. This is where the convolution began.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, his hair doesn't burn up. No, his pants don't turn into ashes. Yes, it hurts when he pees. Like Stan Lee's just like, why do I have to make all this shit up?
Think about that. At some point in humanity, there was like the first guy who was like, wow, this fantastic story about these people with amazing abilities. How come that guy's clothes don't burn when he becomes the Human Torch?
Yeah.
And not only that, it forced him to write a letter
Yeah.
to the publisher.
I believe his name was Buzz Killington.
The first of his name.
First of his name.
But many did he breed.
Oh, Lord.
I wish we had a documentation of when the first actually was.
Oh, I'm sure it was in reference to Superman.
It might have been Stan Lee himself. Think.
have been.
Someone was like, Stan, the Human Torch's clothes would burn up when he turned on. And Stan was like, actually, Excelsior.
Yeah.
They're made of unstable molecules, genius.
I'm surprised they had to explain that to you, you fucking rube.
You troglodyte.
It's a nice hat you're wearing, Stan. What you call that? It's called a fedora.
Clearly, you are not a true believer.
I made myself sad.
All right. Do you guys want to get into some comic news?
Yes.
What have you been seeing lately? What's buzzworthy?
I have a few things I just want to touch on. There's a lot of Kickstarters out there right now for all of us to spend our hard-earned money on. For those of you who may not know what a Kickstarter is, Kickstarter is like a crowd-funded site to get basically anything you want made by the support of the crowd you are wishing to get funds from. So there's like anything under the sun can be crowdfunded on Kickstarter, but we're going to talk about comic books specifically. James Tiny Onion has a 10-year retrospective Kickstarter happening right now that dives into like The Woods, Something's Killing the Children, the Mimetic trilogy.
Yeah, it's 3 different big old thick boy James Tynion omnibuses.
Yep.
And then, of course, there are limited edition, issue number slipcases, issue number 1 reprints, foil covers.
Yeah. And
everything.
Who would have thought what kind of a big business a slipcase would be for the comic book industry?
It took one nice-looking slipcase, and everyone said, hold on.
Well, everybody
People
was
pay so much more for
Yes.
a slipcase. It's wild.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, the DC Absolute editions are really good.
Yeah. I think the first time I saw it was the Darwin Cook Absolute edition of Home Frontier.
New Frontier.
New Frontier.
Yeah.
And but I was the same way. I saw that in the slipcase. I was like, there's no other way I want to store this book but inside that slipcase.
Yep.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, my first one was the Absolute Watchmen. And it's
yeah.
I feel like an absolute academic when I pull this out. Look at my giant brain.
It's an investment, asshole. So and what I liked about the Tiny Onion Kickstarter is it was a manageable Kickstarter. It's a manageable Kickstarter with multiple tiers, but there is a drop off when the tiers start to get out of fucking control. And it's right around the slipcase tier.
Well, it's once you start wanting to get everything.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
you want all 3 books?
Yeah.
Open up the wallet.
Yeah. And go get a loan from your favorite bank.
Yeah.
And enjoy.
Because I think it's $300 for all 3.
On a good day. Maybe like the early bird special.
Oh, okay.
The thing I always forget that I need to keep telling myself is that Kickstarter is a place to support creators to help get something made, not necessarily a place to find a good deal.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You lose that a lot, and I go look at Kickstarters, and I'm like, that's unreasonable. But you got to remember the money you're paying, the intention, I guess originally anyway, is to fund a thing being manufactured.
Sure. And I'm not trying to disparage the Tiny Onion Kickstarter.
No, I know
But
you're
I'm
not.
trying to give you guys pause for the sticker shock you are about to receive.
For sure.
Another great Kickstarter I saw was the G.I. Joe IDW Skybound team up of like basically every G.I. Joe comic that's been printed. I think Marvel included.
Yeah, most
They
of them.
formed some mega deal of just like, all right, they're all in one book. And those have fancy slipcases. In addition, you can choose to be a Joe or a Cobra. So if you are a completist, you're boned because you're going to have to get both because one is a fancy blue color and one is a fancy red cover. The thing, I like the idea of what they're doing. The thing I wish they would do is make the books a little smaller because these books are fucking tomes.
Yeah,
They're gigantic.
it's 4 volumes, and I'm missing some.
It's like 12 inches thick.
Yeah, it's at least G.I. Joe 1 through 50, plus the Transformers miniseries, G.I. Joe special missions, I think 1 through 20,
Okay.
and then some like annuals and one-offs and all that kind of stuff. So like
Everything.
I'll say probably 70, 80 issues over 4 volumes.
And listen, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, you're eating. You are eating good.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is finally the place where it's all collected in one. You can go back and read it. Our friend Joe is a huge G.I. Joe fan. He was geeking.
Yeah. All that stuff is really hard to track down, especially when something's been done across different publishers over the course of like 40 years.
Yeah.
So consolidating that into one mega thing is really nice. It was what, $300?
$300, yeah,
I didn't even look at the price because I didn't really want it, and I knew
for one set.
I was
Yeah.
gonna be mad.
It's $300 for a set, which like a normal Omni is like $100.
100,
and you're getting-
150
and you're getting
depending, yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So it's not bad for what it is. It's just a lot to spend at once.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'll buy like one Omni a year.
Yeah.
But you're totally right about the size of the things. If they could have, it would have been nice to cut each of those in half. You've got the Flashpoint Omnis right behind you.
Yeah.
On top of those speakers, sucks to read that.
It's almost unbearable.
Yeah.
Because you get to like the middle part, and like you can't see the whole page when it gets to that.
Yeah.
So
Plus, you feel like you're summoning a demon.
yeah, you're opening the Necronomicon,
Yeah, exactly.
peering into your orb.
It's unwieldy. It is nice to be able to read that many issues of something back to back, but it is cumbersome to carry around.
I'm honestly hoping Bezos figures out the Matrix and I can just download these things into my brain core and just get rid of all my books. But until that day, we have Kickstarter to thank for collecting all these wonderful issues together.
You want the reading experience gone. You just want like an immediate knowledge
I just want
transfer.
the knowledge. If I could learn karate in a millisecond, you bet I would get a brain port. Almost made you spill your rosé there, my friend.
Almost. Okay, so any other Kickstarters?
Just this is one for me. Elephant Men was a comic
that's
that came
right.
out on Image that I love. They're doing like another series, like a short little shot or a couple issues. Go check that out if you want it. I loved Elephant Men when it was coming out. It was this weird kind of cerebral mixture of these big hulking creatures that were elephants and buffalo and zebra.
Was one of them a detective? It was kind of like
So-
a detective noir. I never really read any of them.
It was. It's a fascinating story because it was basically like a Dr. Monroe mad scientist thing of like these women were forced to give birth to these hybrid animal creatures, and then like they kind of were considered second-class citizens because they were used primarily for war and stuff. And so like now that the wars are kind of done being fought, you have these just like gigantic beasts with nothing to do.
They're just a part of society.
Then now they're just a part of society, but they're still kind of looked down upon.
Yeah.
It's an amazing read. There's like I think 6 or 7 volumes you can go find
Yeah,
pretty
there's a ton.
cheap on eBay. And it was just a lot of fun. I know Budget King loves the series, which is a no-brainer for if you know who Budget King is. But there's a new Kickstarter out. I think it's ending soon, so if you want to go check it out, I highly, highly suggest it.
Sick.
Speaking of complete editions and anthologies, getting all the stuff in one place. Andy was telling us about a little Humble Bundle earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Dynamite has a Humble Bundle going right now for their 20th anniversary, and it's like $20 or $25, and you get 20,000 pages of comic book.
All
digitally.
unorganized.
Yeah. Single issues in short boxes digitally.
You have to put them together yourself.
But it's like 74 trades of comic.
That just shows you how much
Unbelievable.
Dynamite values their books.
Well, it's for charity.
I'm kidding.
It's for charity.
It's an insane deal.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like,
Sure.
you name a Dynamite book, and like most of that is in this.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Army of Darkness stuff, Vampirella, Peter Cannon.
Bond?
There's some Bond. There's even some like mini series they done. Control from Andy Diggle is in there.
Okay.
Devilers, Terminal Hero.
The list goes on.
The list goes
and
on. I
for
mean,
20,000 more titles.
again, like name a thing, and it's probably in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a no-brainer for me for 20
for $20.
$20,
Yeah.
like
if you're curious about anything Dynamite has put out and you have $20 laying around, there's no other way to do it.
I mean, if you enjoy 1 out of 5 comics in that series, you've made your money, right?
Yeah.
I spent $20 on worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like today.
And again, it's Humble Bundle benefits charity.
Correct.
If you're not familiar with that site, it's a common thing that they put together a lot of like digital
Yeah, there's
content.
Yeah.
And you have a great savings for it.
sometimes there's like video game stuff.
Yeah.
They do a lot. It's also like a digital store, kind of like a Steam or an Epic store. But their main draw is they'll work with companies to put together digital bundles of goods, and then a portion of those proceeds will benefit a charity, and you can see whatever charity or choose the charity sometimes. So again, it's a no-brainer.
And if to continue on the Humble Bundle train, which is just kind of fun to say, Humble Bundle, there is a Hellboy and BPRD Humble Bundle right now for $30. You can get essentially every BPRD book and like 36 volumes or 36 issues of Hellboy books.
Oh, okay.
Which is a crazy deal because there's over 200 BPRD issues, like close to it. So, like Andy said with the Dynamite deal, it's like they're basically giving away for pennies on the dollar.
Yep. And again, benefits charity. Like,
not
only is this like an insane deal, but it goes toward a good cause.
Yes. The children. Think of the children.
Hellboy's one where I've read the first handful of trades.
So good.
But otherwise, it's a blind. Like BPRD is a blind spot for me.
God, BPRD is
I know people love it.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I need to.
There's
I need to do
a
that one.
arc called The Devil You May Know. So good.
That was the sound of Greg's head exploding again.
And then being
in
reborn.
slow motion.
I am Rose.
He has rosade.
He has rosade indeed.
And as for that, that's pretty much it for comic book news and content. It's been kind of a slow
nice
week.
try. Batman Ninja's getting a sequel.
Oh my god. Okay. And done.
No, that's it.
I did see there's okay, there are rumors now that Disney's trying to cast Taylor Swift as some like character from Marvel called like the Blonde Phantom.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
I saw.
And it's like a Golden Age character.
Yep.
Which, if you don't know, Golden Age is what, like 40s?
Yeah.
They don't need to do that.
I mean, it would be an awesome bit.
There's
To have her be anyone but Dazzler?
Yes. Yes.
there's one there's one modern appearance, and it's in She-Hulk as like sensational She-Hulk as like a bit. That it's like, oh, these old characters are coming back. And that book showed up on cover prices like 10 books that are like
Sure it did.
rising
Sure
in
it did.
value.
Give me
So
a break.
people have been selling that and getting it slabbed, and I thought that was funny because that's really the other. But before the news broke on that, or I guess calling it breaking news is not a little overdoing it, but that comic that first had the Blonde Phantom in it was obviously Golden Age comics, already like a $2,000 comic in like any grade.
Yeah.
All those old like timely comics and early Marvel comics are a fortune. So you're not getting your hands on that one.
ever, ever,
But you
ever.
can get your hands on this weird, obscure She-Hulk issue. So maybe look out for that in dollar bins if that's your cup of tea to collect Taylor Swift.
If you have to have this
to collect Taylor Swift rumor-related stuff.
God.
I tweeted recently that they should throw everyone for a loop and cast Lizzo as Dazzler, and then have Taylor Swift be the blonde bombshell or whatever, blonde Phantom. Would that be great?
I just don't think we need Dazzler.
No, Lizzo needs to be Dazzler.
Sure. Is she canceled? Is she uncanceled? I don't know.
Lizzo, was she canceled?
There was some stuff going around.
Yeah.
What?
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, that's a Google for you.
We call that's a Google.
This is not First Issue Club fodder.
Damn it.
I sometimes dislike when a character is used as a throwaway bit, at least a big character, because I would like to see some sort of Dazzler stuff, but I feel like when they use it as like a throwaway, they're like, okay, that's canon now. This person is that character. It's going to be like 20 years before we reevaluate using that character as like another thing for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know how I
feel about it.
Mike
I wouldn't
D's-
mind a cool like having a Dazzler show up in X-Men. I think would be cool, and doing like a funner comedy.
Yeah. So your stance is, come on, guys, let's be serious.
Let's be serious
Give
about these
Dazzler the
superheroes.
gravitas she deserves.
Give her the time she needs.
If you introduce that character and it doesn't have like 10 minutes on screen, I'm gonna be like squandered.
Oh, so you don't care about the context. You just want her to have. You don't want it to be like, look at Dazzler, and then it just cuts.
Yeah,
away.
I have a feeling if this happens, it's gonna be like a 30-second scene, and we're on as like there she just walked by.
Yeah.
What if they did like they did in Deadpool 2, where they had like Shatterstar and Zeitgeist show up, and then
then immediately die.
Immediately kill them off.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I guess that's an annoying thing, but those characters
Mainly because Dupe wasn't there.
I'm less attached to.
But you are attached to Dazzler.
Yeah.
What if she's there and Travis Kelce is super pro?
Oh my god.
Holy shit! Now we're talking.
We are cooking on this episode today, boys.
Could be. That'd be funny.
That would be funny. I think you'd be up for it.
Yeah.
Travis,
Funny guy.
No, Jason Kelce is NFL Super Pro.
That's even funnier. that the guy
No
she's
one would
dating.
understand that reference.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Because Travis Kelce needs to play. What was the trucker comic? Like US 66?
Yeah, Highway 66 or
yeah,
something.
right.
Or he could be on Team America.
Yeah.
Which is actually a Marvel comic, not the very funny Matt Stone, Trey Parker puppet movie.
Was Highway 66 a Marvel comic?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All about truckers.
How about that?
Super truckers.
Super truckers.
La-ti-da, the best kind.
Aren't they all, though? Really keeping America running.
True. America runs on truckers.
And Duncan. Can we please talk about comics? I'm losing my brain.
Please. We'll officially move to the comic book segment. Greg, do you want to take it away? Or do you need a break from talking?
Convoy. Brr. I know it's a book that was read by 2 members of the club.
Yep.
Grommet. Grommets #1.
Yep.
By Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, Brett Parson, who did. I'm going to stop right here. Brett Parson is maybe one of my favorite illustrators. He did a ton of Tank Girl stuff.
Yeah.
Over on Titan, and his art, for the price of admission alone, the art is worth it. But Grommets is set in the 80s in California when skateboarding was in its infancy.
Yeah.
Was no one had even ollied yet. This is Lords of Dogtown stuff. And I hardly ever say this. And when I hear people say it, it really is like nails on a chalkboard for me. This book was made for me. There's SoCal punk rock. There is skateboarding. There is a kid getting beat up because he fell down and his face is all fucked up and bloody. What else can you want from a
They listen
comic?
to Moving Pictures by Rush.
They listen to Rush. That's an Andy thing. This to me is maybe the perfect comic
yeah.
because it is going to be poignant, doesn't take itself too seriously, it's funny, and it's just so much fun to look at.
picking up a Rick Remender book, I was like, oh, okay, these kids are going to skateboard onto an alien spacecraft, right? Obviously. And get laser guns.
Yeah.
And that does not happen.
This is so rooted in reality.
It is a straight up slice of life comic.
This could be just like labeled as a Wonder Years comic.
Yeah.
It is such a nice, and this is a tricky nostalgia bait and switch for me, because this isn't a franchise that I've grown up with or loved. This isn't like, you know, a famous trope that I like reading about. This is just skateboarding and punk rock, and it tricked me, and I love it so much. And I wish you all would go out and buy this comic from Image Comics.
Does it follow a group? Does it follow one teenager?
So there's a young boy who moved to town from San Francisco.
Moving on into town.
Moving on into town from the big city into another big city. And it follows him just being the new kid. It's like the first day of school, I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dad drops him off, makes a big embarrassing scene in front of the school. All the kids are there pointing and laughing.
They kiss on the mouth.
No, he
See
says,
you.
he goes,
Have a good day.
like every dad does, or every dad should. No, it's kind of cute. He goes, I think you're a neat son. Goodbye, I love you. And apparently every kid,
Yeah, just
in front of
bodies him for that.
every kid in front of the school has like super hearing. And it was just like, what the fuck did your dad just say?
Your dad loves
Yeah,
you.
you have a compassionate father figure? Idiot. And then, they just straight up body bag him. And, but he's like a skate kid. He tries to like meet up with other skate kids that he sees in the school, and they call him like a poser and just like make fun of him. And then like this other kid who he befriends is just like, don't worry about them, they're the posers. Like, I like skating too, and like he kind of like boasts about how good he is at skateboarding. And we come to find out as the comic goes on that he actually like sucks at skateboarding, and like you kind of just are. I think we're gonna get like a really neat story, like these two wayward kids who are trying to figure themselves out individually are going to have a better time discovering themselves, like with a friend by their side.
Yeah.
Like we all really need in life.
Aw.
Yeah, I said it.
I do want to give a warning, though. There's a lot of coarse language in here. A lot of slurs. That is completely of the time period.
Historical context will help you here.
Yeah. But there's a lot of
Homophobic slurs.
homophobic slurs. Yeah.
There's like one or two.
No, there's way more than that.
One or two feels like a lot
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
in 2024.
Yeah. Well, especially when like they're very offhand and like
Yeah.
It's like when you watch like the dirt bike movie Rad. Like and you're just like, oh, this is a cool movie about dirt. Oh my god, what did they just say? And like, why do they keep saying it?
yeah.
And it's I don't know. They could have done without it, but
A lot of these things I think could do without it. I realize that creators want to give people a peek into what a time was like.
Mm-hmm.
But does every Martin Scorsese movie need to have the N-word in it as many times as it does? Does that make the movie better? No.
Yeah.
Especially the movies that aren't really like a commentary on racism. Like, if that's not part of it, then I don't know that we need it in like the cultural context of a movie that's just about like something else.
So I'm glad you said that, because that was almost what I was expecting, was that like these two kids
Turn out to be gay.
or discover, you know,
Yeah.
have some sort of like moment or, you know, intimacy with each
Sure.
other that neither of them were expecting.
Yeah.
Because they kept like peppering that stuff in.
This is what happened in Paper Girls.
Yeah.
Was that one of the characters used a lot of those terms, and then you find out like she comes out like halfway through the comic, and you find out that like, you know, as a defense mechanism, she's leaning really hard into that language.
And this is a 7-issue series.
Yeah.
So that might end
There's
up
good room for that to happen.
Yeah, there's room for that. But I just wanted people to know that if you're not looking for that in your comic, maybe skip this one. But it is very good, and I would recommend it.
Yeah. Same.
Right on. You love to hear it.
You love to hear that a comic's good.
Well done, everyone.
Andy, what do you got for us?
I read Helverine #1.
Whoa!
Because no one is going to read Helverine except for me.
The most wicked comic in Marvel history.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Helverine appeared a while ago.
I mean, last year.
Yeah. And so he's just now getting his own comic?
Well, this is
The restraint Marvel has shown.
This is a continuation of the story that took place in the crossover between Ghost Rider and Wolverine.
Okay. Marvel, you missed your moment.
I don't know.
That whole thing was odd because that tie-in looped into the actual Wolverine run, but it was right in the middle of all the Krakoan downfall stuff, and so it just totally didn't fit in the storyline that was happening.
Yes.
It made for an awesome cover.
Yeah, that Ryan Stegman cover.
That Stegman cover on the... Yep. I got mine slabbed
for sure.
just because I thought it looked rad.
Yeah.
And I think that that issue of Wolverine still sells for like...
It's like a $25 book or something.
Yeah, if you have it slabbed, it's like $80 too.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
I mean, when the history books of time recall the greatest moments of our
Helverine will be an enduring character.
Helverine will be a footnote for sure.
Well, I'll say this.
Right next to Hot Claws Wolverine
And Noseless Wolverine.
and Noseless Wolverine.
I'll say this. Benjamin Percy's writing, and if there's one thing we know about Benjamin Percy, homeboy can write an action book,
He knows a sentence.
right?
Knows his way around a sentence.
Ooh, that predicate.
So,
Hanging participle, am I right?
so this book revolves
dangling.
around a government organization that has reanimated soldiers' bodies using hellfire energy and made them like almost knockoff Ghost Riders themselves, right? So it's a
Okay.
squad of bad Ghost Riders roaming around, killing a bunch of people,
I mean, yeah.
and the government brings in Wolverine, Logan, and says, "Okay, you need to be Helverine now and help us take down these guys." And Logan's like, "I can't because I was that demon was stripped out of me by Ghost Rider."
We broke up.
And the guy was like,
We're not talking anymore.
and the guy's like, "Well, hang on. We've got this video of you being Helverine."
We have this video of you stealing.
And you come to find out, spoiler alert if you haven't read the book, at the end,
He's not the real Wool.
Wolverine's son is Helverine. Dakin. But it's not Dakin.
Oh,
He's
Draken?
got his name, whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
He is back from the dead as Helverine,
okay.
right?
Interesting.
That's pretty cool, right? You guys were knocking this.
yeah.
So,
Question.
yeah.
How long till we get other hell versions of our favorite heroes?
Oh, it's going to be over the top in like a 1 minute.
Hell America.
Can't wait.
Let's check in 60 seconds. In the
Hell
internet.
Marvel. Hell Widow.
Death of the Hellverse coming summer 2026.
If it's...
Thank you, Cullen Bunn, for serving your country.
Yeah, whatever you need a kick-ass cryptic event, you call Cullen Bunn in there right now. I mean, it's setting itself up for Hell Spider-Man,
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean,
Hell Glob.
you know I'm buying the Hell Knight comic.
Yeah. Even if it's just variant covers.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay, I'll say this. Is this kind of a goofy bit? Yes. But if there was one person I would trust to write the goofy bit comic
Oh, it's Benjamin Percy.
based on like the Predator stuff that he's done alone, the Predator versus Wolverine series alone,
And the Wolverine he's written.
and the Ghost Rider he's written.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
if there's one guy that can do it, it's Benjamin Percy.
Yeah. They just gave Benjamin Percy Marvel Knights. It was just
Yeah.
like, just take it.
Do whatever you want, man.
It is always fun when a creator has a couple ongoing runs that last for a while, and then they get the opportunity to smash them together or interweave some things.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey, Benjamin, do you want a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? Your 2 characters you're working on? Yes, I do.
One of my favorite.
One less book to write. That was his whole idea. Can I still make the same amount of money?
I'm tired and I'm forgetting who's who.
Technically, I'm still
That's-
writing Ghost Rider book and a Wolverine
That's how I
book.
got Helverine. I just was sniffing too much ether, got the names mixed up. Boom. Your favorite character?
It did remind me of when Nathan Edmondson was writing Punisher and Black Widow at the same time and had them cross over, and it was literally the same story, the same like interaction told in two different like
Oh yeah.
interaction. Anyway. It reminded me of that. But
Sweet.
Helverine is fun.
Was this a one shot?
No, this is a limited.
Oh, thank God.
This is an ongoing.
I almost said, I thought you were going to say ongoing.
This is an ongoing,
I was
50 issues.
We do not need an ongoing Helverine.
Hard disagree.
Chrome cover only.
There was a chrome cover for a shiny cover for this.
Of course there was.
It was $6.99.
Wow, that's actually
The foil covers are getting cheaper,
yeah.
and they should be cheaper
The
because
supply chain must have been straightening out.
best quality. Some of that stuff comes out like real scratchy with like lines and stuff down it.
Yeah.
I don't love the foil covers.
But you buy them.
Not if they're scratchy.
I buy less of them.
Yeah.
I do like them. If they've got a print, all of the She-Hulk one, you got me a copy of
Yes,
that
I
one.
did.
Where she's got like several like pool noodle things taped all together so she can
Stay up.
stay up.
Yeah.
She's showing feet on Maine, so.
That one, the whole cover is covered with a print, right?
Yeah.
When they do the things that it's like there's a lot of white space and you just see the chrome come through, I get the idea that that should look cool because you're letting the like raw foil pop and that looks like silver in texture, but the paper just doesn't come out of the printer nice a lot of times when you leave it raw.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I prefer a spot gloss.
Ooh,
Same.
I love a good spot gloss.
More expensive than foil.
Man, I'm so glad we're in
I'll
agreement
pay
with
the
that.
extra $1 for the spot gloss.
Yeah,
How about
right,
that?
I like it.
Yeah, I like a good die cut, to be honest.
I mean,
Take some of my cover away.
well, give me an extra cover and then.
Yeah, an extra cover behind it.
Tease me. Withhold from me, Daddy. I read William of Newbury by Michael Avon Owen. This is a book about a
Did he write and do the art?
Yes.
write and art. I want to say it's a raccoon. We'll say raccoon, who is a monk going to different real cities in England during the Middle Ages and taking care of demons.
That is sick. You had me at raccoon.
This book was incredible. I don't know what I was expecting, but it is the most Hellboy adjacent book that isn't attached to Hellboy I've maybe seen. Like, it is its own unique take and art style, but also is like very reminiscent of like and it's on Dark Horse, so it's like you feel like this should be set somewhere within a Mike Mignola fairy tale or something. There is very cool occultist stuff. There is humor. There's like an unlikely team up in the middle of this book that is very endearing. And it's all anthropomorphic animals just acting like people do. And it's if you are into Beast of Burden or Hellboy or anything of that style, you definitely need to pick up William of Newbury because it's like just another slice of that pie that is filled with herring. I don't know.
I think we're in the middle of an anthropomorphic animal comic renaissance.
It's about time.
Like the animal books are hot right now.
The prophecy has been foretold. when the time is high and a Patrick Hovarth comes down to save us all, animals standing on 2 feet like peoples will reign.
It will never not be cute.
And it's like but the book like that's not the bit of the book. It's just like look at these crazy animals. It's like it's kind of like Redwall and like other books or like Secret of the Nim. It's like kind of like it adds an extra layer of eeriness and foreboding when it's these like tiny critters doing these gigantic magical things.
Sure.
And that's what really brought me in to this book and kind of kept me engaged with it is like just how fleshed out the characters are and how like everyone knows their role and everyone communicates in their own unique way, and like you get the personality so quickly. And it was just like kind of a phenomenal first issue, to be honest.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is this an ongoing or a limited?
I don't know for sure. I want to say limited.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with limited. If I'm wrong, Michael, please correct me. Michael, please forgive me. But it's a really, really good time.
Dope.
I looked up because the name was familiar. William of Newbury is a 12th century historian.
Oh,
Oh.
you don't say.
You must have some.
Was he?
other-
Does this say here in the Wikipedia that he's a raccoon? A raccoon?
They should have talked about that.
Don't think it mentioned.
It should have been a
raccoons
very
in here.
highlighted thing.
There he is. No,
Was he a
that's-
monk? Like Tony Shalhoub?
Not sure.
It is funny because I say monk and then I said Tony Shalhoub, as in the show Monk.
Yeah.
This guy, the raccoon, William, kind of acts like Monk. He doesn't like getting all dirty and like touching stuff, but he likes hunting down demons and like solving these big paranormal things.
That's
so,
cute.
I don't know.
I'll be purchasing this book.
And like the artwork is, I mean, we have it pulled up right here on the computer.
yeah.
I mean, you can tell the influences are there.
Oh, yeah.
But it is just such a wonderful, wild read.
Damn.
He's
Sold.
somebody you think of as an artist, but he's written some really good fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Comics.
for sure. Yeah, so go check it out, William of Newbury. Highly recommend.
Right on.
You got me, Greg. You got me.
Does it, Mike, real quick, does it say it's a one of whatever right here? Not seeing it.
I don't see.
I still think it might be a limited.
It is on Dark Horse. I can't remember the last time I picked up a Dark Horse ongoing.
Right. I mean, even the Hellboy stuff is kind of limited.
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of segmented
4 issues
stories.
here, yeah.
I mean, the way that it's set up, it could do exactly what Hellboy does, of just like telling these short, segmented 4 to 5 issue stories, but
Yeah.
still continuing on in the universe that Michael's created.
Sure.
And I hope it does, because it was kind of a fun break from all the other comics that I've been reading.
Yeah.
It was a nice, refreshing take.
Dope.
I hope I used enough adjectives to get a pull quote.
Yeah.
To send you to a friend of ours podcast, I believe Oblivion Bar just interviewed
They did, yeah.
Michael A. Von Oming. So
They have some. This is going to turn into an Oblivion Bar commercial. They have some like bananas
Yeah.
interviews coming up. They're doing Brian K. Vaughan
Yeah.
pretty soon, and I know this is like one of Chris's bucket list interviews, so I am like pumped to hear the Brian K. Vaughan interview.
right on.
Dope.
Is that it? Are we done?
That's it?
I was gonna say I read Kid Juggernaut, which is
it a Marvel comic?
Yeah.
Listen, hold on. Shut up. Who knows what that could have been?
It's the sequel to Helverine. Helverine versus Kid Juggernaut.
Holy
coming
shit.
summer
No, shut up.
2020.
They're going to make it.
One of the things that I just realized is that we never really cover the Unlimited comics, which are
On Marvel Unlimited.
Marvel Unlimited exclusives, but they're like full ongoing comics. A lot of them that some of them have gone like past 100 issues by now. So
What?
there's been a handful of them that have lasted. Like I think some of the X-Men ones, and then they do some like anthology ones. Like there's like a love one where they'll do like 4 to 8 issue love story with a character, and then they'll pick it up right afterwards and continue the numbering with a different character.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff on Unlimited.
I want to say they launched some X-Men book like during House and Powers.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff's just been going.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyway.
In any case, this book explains, and I don't know how much of this is like actual Marvel canon or if this was established until recently, but apparently there was a Juggernaut before Kane Marco,
Oh.
and
Well, there is like the stone that gives him the power. right?
yeah,
The
like
Crimson Stone of Sidorak.
Oh my God.
yes,
Nerd.
so in this in this comic, it explains that Sidorak bid the stone's first wielder to destroy his own like hometown.
Oh.
And when he refused, he sought out who we know as the Juggernaut, and that person got the powers. Since then, the this guy's son, who like never wanted to inherit the powers, has passed away, and then like possession of this amulet has passed down to this kid who now lives in
Philadelphia,
Canada.
Okay.
And so it's this like Korean Canadian kid who works in his mom's donut shop, and
I'm loving every bit of this.
Yes. I mean, seriously.
and gets this box that he inherits from his deceased father of all his possessions.
The perfect jelly
And he
donut recipe.
can't read Korean, but in this box is like a little amulet thing in a case, and so he just opens the case because he's curious and doesn't see the warnings,
Whoa, cool necklace.
and then becomes the next Juggernaut.
Does he have
wild.
a new suit? There's like, or does he have a suit? Or is
He
just
doesn't
like-
have a suit. He's got like the powers, at least early on. in
Does he
this.
get big?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
massive. He is absolutely massive.
But, like, just
he's
like a little
playing
chonker?
pickup basketball in the first issue, and he's just like clobbering guys.
This is so intriguing to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is Kane Marco still Juggernaut? And there are
Kane
two
Marco
Juggernauts?
is still Juggernaut. Yeah.
How can that be?
There's two stones, I guess, right? It's got to be.
Well, I think the thing is that Sidorak heeded. Is it Marco Kane or Kane Marco?
It depends on how you read it
It's
in a phone
Professor
book.
X's half brother.
Yeah, it's a better way to put it. In any case, we'll just say OG Juggernaut
Yeah. Jugs.
Juggy.
was kind of Juggy
Made you say it.
was called by Sidorak to be like, I need an inheritor of my power.
Sure.
And then bestowed power
Because I'm about to bust.
upon him.
Someone needs to take this.
However, the gem still exists. And
Aha.
anyone who touches the gem
Gets-
inherits the power of Sidorak.
That'd be awesome if it
So
took.
you could have multiple juggernauts at once.
Multiple juggalos out there.
Yeah. Juggalos is there, Sid. It'd be awesome if, like, the opposite happened where, like, Sidorak was just like, okay, Kane Marco, I need you to have these powers because, like, no one wants this goddamn stone. And he's like, sweet. And now he's all big. But now that the kid has the stone on, all the power leaves.
Yeah, tiny
OG
jugs.
OG Juggernaut. And so he's just like this frail looking, like, reverse nerd from the back of comic books that gets sand kicked in his face.
It is Kane Marco.
Kane Marco.
So it was right. And I'm just realizing when you reverse that, it sounds like you're Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
Marco Kane.
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
I saw tangerine the size of a tangerine.
Mr. Wayne.
We're all gonna just do this is the rest of the
This is the rest
episode?
of it.
So if you're on Unlimited, or if you haven't,
Or if
got,
you're
or if
curious.
you want to do a free trial, like I don't know, check out that one. That's a good,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
easy entry point one.
Marvel, the
that
first
just
one's
started.
free. Next time you gotta start paying us for these ads.
This is my thing with Unlimited is that the amount of comics that sit in that database is so daunting. And then these series of even the Unlimited comics, which are like, let's give people something that starts from scratch so they can just jump into a fun new comic and stay in the know. And all before you blink, and they're like, oh, there's 46 of these. And so it's nice that they keep doing new ones so someone can just like, you're a new subscriber, there's something there for you to check out that's new.
It sounds like the House of Ideas needs to build an add-on or something for all this content that they're making.
More like the warehouse of ideas.
yeah, am I right?
Well, that's why I kind of like the idea of that Dynamite Humble Bundle, because a lot of those series are brief.
Yeah.
Whereas when I get on Marvel Unlimited, it's like now I can read Amazing Spider-Man from the beginning, and I've spent years
1 through 700.
reading.
Yeah.
I'm like mid 300s now.
Yeah.
And I just started Fantastic Four, and that's going to take me,
Yeah.
12 years to get through. It's
I'm
like
going to start old school Excalibur. Oh, no, I'm not. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Excalibur is another blind spot for me that it's just like I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
It's British X-Men. What else do you need to know?
It's funny, but it's like a dry funny.
I'll read the cliff notes.
Yeah, big feet crush people all the time.
It's like dry mutant stuff. I don't know. A lot of crazy walking.
A lot of transvestism. They swap clothes a lot. I don't know.
That's insane.
Join us on the Patreon for more. We're not totally sure what we're going to be talking about this week.
We know one main thing,
which is
Andy's going to update us on Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt update. That's right.
Because I'm a blood boy.
All right. You've read a lot of tie-ins. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
And I'd be positive that we're going to have a good time.
Blood joke. Bye, everyone.